Hey guys, Sean from Top 5 Fit. Want to go over some strategies to try to avoid the 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 pound weight gain that can happen around the holidays. Now, Christmas is coming, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Let's not get into that shit below in the comments. But bottom line is the holidays, when they get here, there tends to be a lot of abnormal, delicious delights sitting around. It's kind of hard to walk by these things. You know, your mom makes a dish that she hasn't made since you were a child, and next thing you know, it's sitting there in all of its glory, and of course you want to take a bite. It could be the same thing with some of your father's appetizers. Whatever the case may be, there is potential everywhere for excess body fat to just creep onto your frame, basically making any and all resolutions that you would want to try to start at the beginning of the year even harder. So what I want to talk about today is some ways to kind of avoid that, or at least be able to enjoy the holidays, have a couple of those food items that you shouldn't be consuming mass amounts of, and still enjoy the time with the family and friends. First of all, let's start with water consumption. If you are an adult above the age of 21, you are more than likely going to want to consume an adult beverage. That can range obviously from beer to wine to a mixed drink, so on and so forth. If you take the time to actually look at our page, you'll see all kinds of infographics there about what to drink and what not to drink, what causes the most amount of damage, what causes the least amount of damage. Definitely reference that on our pages if you can. At the same time, water consumption kind of gets pushed aside because you're having the warm apple cider with rum in it, or you're having the margarita, or you're having the beer, the Christmas ale, whatever's going down, but you're not drinking your water. Somehow, some way, we should try to be a little bit more mindful of that. Use your smartphone. Put in an alarm that tells you every hour, every 2 hours to drink an 8-ounce glass of water. It will help keep you full, and believe it or not, from my own personal experience, it doesn't do anything to your holiday buzz. It's not like it brings you down and then you go back into whatever jolly feeling you're having from your beverage. It actually kind of helps you maintain. And you're not hungover the next day. So let's try to keep that water consumption going with the meals. With the drinks. At the same time, they will help move and keep your metabolism up and help move some of that food through that you're eating that you wouldn't normally be eating. Two, let's talk about nutrients, big macronutrients here, what you should be taking in. Protein, obviously a big deal. Now, if you look at the wide array of diet plans, I don't like the word diet, you should know that. But if you look at the wide array of diets that are out there, all of them, to some degree, when it comes to body fat loss, weight loss, trimming, ripping up, getting as, sliced as possible, lean as possible, they all ultimately come back to two major components that you should be paying attention to. Protein, number one, and vegetables, leafy greens, fiber. So you should try to stay as close to that model as you possibly can. So as you're moving through the maze of goodies that are laid out throughout your kitchen and everywhere else that they may be, try to keep that concept in mind. Protein, fiber, vegetables. So the salami roll-up is obviously going to be loaded with all kinds of fats and nitrates and stuff that you shouldn't have, but it's protein. So when you're looking around at all of the options, that's going to be a lot better choice than, say, the knish or the cannoli. So think about that again as you're moving around these food items. Things that are loaded with celery, onions, peppers, anything that is really, really fibrous, go after that. Again, that helps keep your metabolism up, helps keep things moving through the system, and it provides bulk. It will make you feel full and satiated, and you're not constantly picking at things, and it'll help control your appetite. If you decide to go after, let's say, mama's sweet potato pie or something like that, a good rule of thumb is to try to keep the sugary carbohydrates, the real easily processed carbohydrates, to as much of a minimum as possible. Use the palm of your hand. This is a great measuring tool that we walk around with every single day. When it comes to those crap items that you're not supposed to be eating, This is a good way to keep your portion control in check and at the same time lessen the damage that these foods can possibly do to your diet. So no bigger than the palm of your hand, and yeah, it should stop at one. Try to plan in maybe twice in a given day that you have one of these food items, one of those sugary dense food items. If you're drinking water and taking in high fiber and then filling up on protein throughout the day, there's still room to have a drink or two as well as your sugary item. And if you can stay on that track, you will not see the kind of weight gain that just about the rest of the country sees around the holidays. Finally, something a lot of people don't think about, especially as they wrap up towards the end of the evening, clean up. There's nothing wrong with throwing in a little bit of an extra calorie burn at the end of your holiday and making it easier for you to go into the next morning. Take that time to move around, clean up the trash, throw away the boxes, fold the clothes, put away the toys, throw everything into a place where it's supposed to be, and that just kind of keeps that metabolism sparked before you go into bed. Again, lessening the damage that some of those bad food items may have had. These strategies, and countless others, these aren't the only things that you can do, but these strategies ultimately will help kind of back off any of that unnecessary weight gain and make you feel, at least keep you feeling good through the holidays. Those are great to follow through, like I said, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any of that time, as well as going into the New Year's. You got about a 2-week spread where you're just going to have things thrown at you. Food items, drinks, odd sleeping hours, so on and so forth. Your task is ultimately to stay on task as best as possible. So keep these strategies in mind. Thanks again for watching. If you think the information's great, please hit the subscribe button. Any questions or comments, or if there's topics you want us to talk about, feel free to put those in the comment box below. Thanks again.